everybody. Oops, shoot. Hey everybody, I'm Carla with Raised to Walk, and it is time for another episode in Hack the Saga. So what is this? Hold on just a second. I just want to make sure, yeah, I'm all the way up. I just wanted to make sure that my sound was on. So anyway, what is this? This is another episode in Hack the Saga. And just if you've ever watched these before, sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. What's been happening today is my iPad has been drained down pretty quickly, and I do have it plugged in, but if I suddenly disappear for a minute, it's because my iPad died, and I will just switch to something else, because that is what I do. So anyway, what is this? So here's the deal. I am streaming now to my Hack the Saga channel, both on YouTube and on Rumble. But my original channel was on Raised to Walk for my website, raisedtowalk.org. And that was, I was just about sharing good thoughts about good words. That was my tagline. I did Bible studies and book reviews. And long story short, everything that I've written, both on my website, raisedtowalk.org, all of my Bible studies, everything was stolen. And it was stolen by people I knew, people that I had heavily promoted and supported, people from the apologetics program at what is now known as Houston Christian University, and also an unexpected journal, which I talked about all the time and promoted for 6 years. They stole my work. I'm not even going to get into it all, but if you want to know the whole ugly long saga, you can go to my website at raisedtowalk.org, Hack the Saga, and I have 80 some updates. I have not updated them all on here. I have done some recently as July, but anyway, if you want the whole down and dirty, you can go and watch that. But what we're going to be covering today is two things. Now, first of all, I originally was going to be doing something a little bit different. If you have been following this at all, I've been talking a lot about, okay, here's the thing. I see a lot of lag and delay here, so I'm going to just turn off my camera and turn it back on. Okay, and also just as an FYI, here's the thing, it literally never ends. The title of this today is Government Cover-Ups, and that's totally what's going on here right now in both. This is what we're covering today. But if the stream is weird, that's why. Okay, it's not that I don't know how to stream. It's not that I'm not connected correctly. It's that I've had severe sabotage. I've had stream keys hacked on my YouTube channels. I had to switch away from my main Raised to Walk channel because it's been hijacked into a multi-channel network controlled by these same people sabotaging me. And Google is pretty much, YouTube doesn't care if your identity or channel has been stolen, other people are stealing your revenue or watch time. They don't care. They're getting their things. So if you're getting screwed over, they don't care. And you literally I'm assuming you just have to file a lawsuit against them to clear your channels. I don't know. So anyway, but that's another thing. But anyway, I see quite a bit of delay here. So if that's the case, if that's how it's coming across, that's why. But what we're covering today, I was originally going to be talking about, establishing your identity online, about schema, because I found a lot of things about that since the last time I streamed. But literally today, I find another massive government cover-up. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what I'm doing and what just came up today. But one of the things that I did want to cover was, originally, before Hack the Saga, I was teaching Bible studies, right? And a friend of mine, Mark Ritchie, saw one of my Bible studies, the one on Job 19, and said, hey, great teaching. Do you want to teach a women's Bible study in Pakistan? This is via Zoom. I was like, okay, sure. So this is October 2021. Started doing that. So I was doing Bible studies on my YouTube channel. I was teaching Bible studies at my church, and then I was also teaching Bible studies to Pakistani Christians in Pakistan via Zoom. Mark started doing he was almost kind of like a small church. He was doing so many Bible studies between the Pakistanis and then the Afghans. Shortly after I started teaching with him, he started classes for the Afghans that had escaped from Afghanistan to Pakistan. The Pakistani pastors that Mark was working with were providing support for the Afghan refugees, so that's how it all came connected into that. And then in 2022, I had filled in a couple of times, but in 2022, his health went downhill, and he asked me to take over the classes with the Afghans. So that's what I did. So here's the thing. When I took over that class with the Afghan Christians, they were basically in exile in Pakistan. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but it was this, it's just this massive mess. And I told them that, Mark just asked me to teach a Bible study. I was not independently wealthy, didn't have any connections, didn't know anything about immigration. But what I did know is I had taught children a third grade Sunday school at Second Baptist in Kingwood, Texas for 6 years. And before that, I had my own girls that were in children's ministry, and they would do, again, my background's in business. I don't have, a background in ministry. I'm just teaching Bible studies as I go, other than, I do have a master's in apologetics, but that's, those are words, that's theoretical. But what I do know about active ministry is what I learned from my church. And when they would go for youth retreats, they would do a beach retreat every summer. And so I had years, going to the parents' meetings for that. And Jonathan Gray used to be the youth pastor at Second Baptist in Kingwood. And at the beginning of every single meeting, he said, we're going to teach your kids about Jesus, but they can't learn about Jesus if they're not safe. So this is what we're going to do to keep your kids safe. And then he would start going down the whole list of the things that they were going to do to keep kids safe. And when I was teaching children's ministry, that was the same thing, huge focus on safety. And so that's what I know about ministry, is what I learned at Second, you keep people safe. And they can't, when they're worried about, people knocking on the door and, taking them, to jail because they don't have valid visas, or they don't have food, or they have to they don't have visas to work. I mean, those are, you can't teach about, you can teach about the God of Shalom, but, if you're not concerned about their actually what they are experiencing day to day, then your words don't really have any meaning. So anyway, I didn't know anything about it. So I told them this. I told the Afghans, I don't have any connections. I don't know anything, but I can ask questions. And so I read, and it was kind of like we were figuring out together. They would find resources there and they would share them. I would say, hey, this is what I'm finding. They would, give me feedback of what I was finding, because sometimes what you read online is what actually, isn't actually the case in real life. And so we just figured it out together, and so that's what I was doing. I was just trying to be a friend to them, trying to fill in the gaps, if I was just doing what I could. So anyway, while I was doing that, I took it over in December of 2022. And we have so much. Okay, I'm just going to show you this. Just as a side note, if you go to my website and you go to any part of my website other than the Hack the Saga pages, what comes up is if you sign up for my newsletter, you can get downloadable and printable scripture cards. So anyway, that's just an FYI. This is what should come up for you. So anyway, I started doing live streams in November or February of 2023. And I did that for the whole year. It's called Sunday Thoughts from Raised to Walk. I'm gonna go on my main website or my main channel for Raised to Walk. You can see those. But anyway, I streamed through February 2024. And the reason I stopped was because I was being hacked, right? And I didn't know what was going on. At the time, I didn't know who was behind it. It's very utterly despicable when you consider that the people who were behind it were people who present themselves as basically professional Christians, these apologists who are basically sabotaging me, blocking my contacts and communications, impersonating Afghans, contacting me, stealing their identity, creating false information or fake profiles based on these refugees in very precarious situations, stealing the YouTube channel that I had. I had another secondary YouTube channel that I just uploaded my Bible studies from church. Why I separated it, I don't know, but I just did. It was my Bright Sheep Ministries YouTube channel. Completely stole that. And I still don't have it back. I have sent probably 6 or 7 support requests to Google or YouTube over the past 2 years since it was stolen in August of 2024. And they just, basically blow me off. It's like, oh, we don't see any account compromise. It's stolen from my account. I literally have sent, and this is the thing, these are, I filed a complaint with the Oregon Attorney General's office, followed the instructions, and they're like, oh, this is a response I got. They said, can you submit it to through this form? It's like, can you actually do your job? I mean, is that impossible? Can somebody just literally get off their ass and off the computer and go, why does it have to be in a form? And why can't somebody be in a flipping office? It just seems like impossible. It's like, oh, we have to why don't you fill out whatever form it needs to be? Is it possible for you to do actually any effective work? I don't think so. I also submitted a complaint to Jeff Berkeley's office, Ron Wyden's office, and I think it's Salinas' representative. The only response I got was from Merkley's office, and then I responded back. I said, hey, can I make an appointment to come into the office to give the additional information? And then it's like zero, nothing, no response after that, but I'm on his mailing list. Can anybody do anything here? I don't think so, literally. Okay, so it gets better, but we're going to go back to Kabul Hope. So these are the updates I did, and I was this is what it's about. So mainly what these are, on these posts on my site, most of them, almost 100% of them, other than maybe 2 or 3, it just has the video, and then it has, because in this I give kind of like some thoughts on the Sunday, right? And then I just give like a little overview of the news for the week of what's going on, either in immigration or having with Pakistan or the Afghan immigration or whatever. Okay, so on these, what I have is an overview of the things that I talk about and mention, links to them. Obviously, I guess I'm talking about Mark's, in this particular one, Mark's books. I don't remember what I was talking about this, but anyway, if you watch the video, what I discuss in the video, I link to. I mentioned my Job 19 one, obviously. This was Sound of Freedom. That's like a whole scam. But anyway, so I just have links to the different things that I talked about. And then also I include links to the, mainly the news I was getting was from on Twitter. So anyway, I include links to that, okay? So that's what most of them are. So it's just, I forgot to mention. So the friends, the fake Christians, the ones that present as Christians but basically steal work and impersonate people, they're also federal contractors. So I don't know all of what they're doing because obviously I wasn't associated with the criminal part and sketchy, shady shit that they're doing. But they running a ton of fake sock puppet accounts. Obviously that's repetitive, but anyway, fake accounts on social media and faking engagement on, that's what they did basically. That was their marketing, is they would fake engagement for whatever on different social media accounts, including some government accounts like the FBI. So they were federal contractors, okay? And they're using federal resources to hack, stalk, and attack me and steal from me and impersonate me and my businesses. Again, go back and you can look at the whole ugly mess on Hack the Saga series. But they were basically using, I have me, so they were impersonating me, but also they were using my accounts and businesses, impersonating them. I have Legacy Marketing Services, that is my marketing business that I've operated since 2003, and then I have my publishing media or business, Effusion Media Group. So they're basically using me and my accounts as fronts and mules for their crimes. So anyway, so that's all going on. Okay. So anyway, I've been hacked, stalked. It's just been nonstop since December of 2023. The attacks. They've been stealing from me since 2019. But anyway, so, but this was all going on, and I didn't know. Obviously, I don't know about the impersonation and all that that's going on all this time. And I didn't really even know who was going. I started discovering who was behind it like about 2 years ago in 2024. I started realizing that the people that I thought were friends were actually hidden enemies. But anyway, however, so I'm working on my site, right? And they've been, just sabotage any way they can. But anyway, so I noticed as I was working on something that there was a post. Let me go back to this. I'll show you what I found. So I can't remember what I was working on, but I was working in, so my Race Walk site is on WordPress, okay? And I was checking the error pages that were, you can check on, I was using a plugin that was showing what pages were coming back as an error. And there was this one from the the Kabul Hope series, which is what I call this Sunday updates, that was coming up as a 404, as a page not found. So this is what was coming up. And I'm looking in the URL, and it says, what it should have is racetowalk.org/kabul.hope/ and then the name of the update, which in this case is the danger of misdirection. And I was thinking, okay, so one of the things that they've done is they've seeded fake URLs into Google, indexed them so that it comes up 404s. That's one of the things they've done. So I was thinking, okay, is that what happened? Okay, so turns out, no, that's not what happened. So what I discovered was that this is at the same time that I was working on setting up some redirects on my redirect plugin, that there must have been somebody near me that was doing through a man-in-the-middle attack. So basically it's like I'm working on my site, and they're basically, it's like while it's in the air, right, while my submissions are in the air, they're inserting information into my site. They're hacking it while it's going on. So they're basically, it's physical. I mean, it's like they're right there, and this stuff is coming in behind me. So this was the same time I was doing it on July 25th. They had somebody near me that was hacking these wrong redirects. So what it should have been was this URL, and they inserted the URL without the category in it. So it came back with 404. Okay. So there were two of them that they did like this. So this was this post, the danger of misdirection. And also, this is a crazy thing to me. It's kind of funny, if you're that lame, but also one of my reading through the Psalms. So reading through the Psalms, day 6, I probably won't get to this, but just for kicks, go and read Psalm 6, Psalm 56, and Psalm 106. and then you tell me what you think somebody was so bothered by that they hacked a redirect on it. Out of all the posts on my site, these are the two that they hack a redirect on. Okay, so I'm thinking, what did I say? And honestly, I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said in here that was so threatening that somebody would take the time and effort to hack a redirect on it. But I'm just going to tell you this. That's reading through the Psalms. We're not going to get to it. The danger of misdirection. Okay, so this is what I did. And this took me, I'm not even joking, like a day and a half to do, because I had to go through, again, I had corrected all the transcripts on the captions on this one I streamed it. Okay, they went back and they altered it. Not only did they sabotage the streams or the captions, but they also, like I said, they have this, I'm trying to think if they did. Yeah. So because they have my channel hijacked into a multi-channel network, okay, they have more control over my YouTube channel than I do. They've altered my interface so I don't have access to the normal captions, but most of the time I can at least edit the captions on this Raise to Walk site. Okay. They blocked it so I can't even edit the captions or pull the captions in any way off of my own channel. I had to pull the transcripts that were there from a third-party tool to be able to get what was on the original Raise to Walk channel. And then they have a some sort of content ID that's enforcing those corrupted transcripts, even if I upload it to another channel, which I did, and then made it unlisted, but it wouldn't embed in my site. It wouldn't display. So on this, what I have, it's actually on another channel other than my Raise to Walk one. So anyway, it's blocked multiple ways. So I don't know exactly what the issue is here. I'm just telling you, this is a notice for anybody. Hold on. Let me do a different, if you go to, let me see. Let me just put this up on the screen. Okay. So if you go to, this is the update. Okay. So if you go to this page. Okay, this is about 12,000 words. It's in a Word. If you need the Word doc for it, just email me if it can get through, or tag me on social media or something, and I'll send it to you. It's 47 pages. I'm not sure what it is about this, but I guess that there's, some lawsuits going on about Afghan immigration. Okay, and I don't know what it is in this that people are trying to cover up. There was a page on the USCIS site that talked about Afghan family reunification visas. Okay, so this is this right here. This it's a state website, the U.S. Department of State. That's been deleted. Not only has it been deleted, but when I went to go and check it on archive.org, the entire history has been wiped like it never existed. It did exist. And there are people talking about it. Why aren't these loading? Yeah, anyway, I have a bunch of tweets on here that are archived. I have the tweet should be loading, but it doesn't look like it is. But maybe that's just my connection right now. But anyway, I also have the archive text. So it's that there's a reference to this family reunification visas that were coming out. And then I don't know if it's anything that I said or if it's a snapshot of what was going on at the time. I don't know, because I don't know what the details of the lawsuits are. But again, if anybody is working with somebody from Afghanistan that has a visa in process or has an immigration case in process, you might want to look over this to see if it has some details that hold to, help your case. The other thing that I mentioned in this is that I have been talking to the sister of the two families that were that she had filed multiple immigration applications for. And their humanitarian parole, I think it must be this, because every single instance of when I mentioned humanitarian parole in the transcripts was corrupted. So it must have to do with the humanitarian parole applications. She said that she called to check on, because she had filed applications for them, and she called to check on them, and all of the Afghans, all their applications, humanitarian parole applications, had been sent to Washington, D.C. They weren't being processed at the local field offices. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I do have screenshots of that in that video. So if anybody needs that documentation, I literally spent a lot of time to make sure that the captions were up online, because obviously it was something that was intended to be, somebody attempted to cover up, literally committed crimes to cover up. And then, if you want the full PDF of it, so you don't have to scroll down my site to see all the stuff, I'm more than happy to email it to anybody that needs it. So anyway, that's one of the things, a government cover up. Second thing is, y'all, oh my gosh. So, I've been documenting all this. I've contacted so many agencies. I've reported so many things. It's ridiculous. And the first time I sent in a 200-page report to the FBI and IC3 on July 28th, 2024. And I went in person to two different FBI offices and no response, right? And so the 2-year statute of limitations was coming up. I have been trying to contact an attorney. I don't know if people aren't interested in it or if my communications are being blocked, but I thought, screw this. I'm not going to let this time limit, because if you file you have to file a form SF-95 to a government agency that you want to file a complaint against, and they have 6 months to respond. And if they don't, you can file a lawsuit against them. Okay. So I thought, screw this. I'm not letting this time limit run out. And so I sent by certified mail a complaint to 4 different agencies, one of them including the FBI. All right. So anyway, interestingly, I sent it certified mail. All of them were delivered except for the one to the FBI Office of General. I don't know. I have to go back and look to see who it was sent to. But except for the one to the FBI, and that one was sitting there in Portland, sitting in the Portland Postal Distribution Center for 2 weeks. And then I posted about it on Twitter, and then on the 27th, it shows that it's delivered. Okay, so then just today, before I'm going online, I was gonna be talking about something else. I look, and I see that, here's the thing, this must have been delayed or something, because I've checked my mail later than the 5th, and I didn't see this. But I get this email from somebody. So now keep in mind, I'm sending it to the central office in Washington, D.C. I get an email from the Portland Division office, who I made a complaint against, who should be investigated because there are freaking criminals there. And I get a response from them. Does this sound reasonable to you? Just that on its own. Does that sound reasonable to you? So this is what this Ivory Black, supposed Chief Division Counsel, CDC paralegal specialist, FBI Portland Division. kind of like when I filed a complaint about the stolen house to the Oregon Attorney General, and I get a response back from Rachel Vigiano, Office Support Specialist. Anyway, same sort of thing, right? Carla Alvarez, FBI Portland is in receipt of your Federal Tort Claim Act claims for damages, which was forwarded to our office from the Office of General Counsel, OGC, whatever. Attached is a copy of the original letter and SF-95 signed and submitted by you to OGC. Additionally, see attached FBI Portland response letter. FBI policy requires that I also send a physical copy of this letter to you via USPS. Certified mail. A copy of the letter will be sent to P.O. Box 13, Salem, Oregon 97308, which I've had multiple, stolen letters or stolen mail out of. Anyway, provided as your claim. Okay, so here's the deal. I sent a claim to 4 different agencies, all right? And I used Proton and I created unique aliases for each letter for them to respond to me by. Okay, do you see this at the beginning, at the top here? USM-tort@mail.thealvarezes.com. That was the email that I provided to the U.S. Marshals to respond to me with. Okay? Do you see this in the bottom here? USMS of SF-95 and cover letter scan PDF. Okay. Do you see this here? Office of General Counsel, Building U.S. Marshal Service. This was not the letter that I sent to the FBI. I will show you the letter I sent to the FBI. This is what I sent to the FBI. And this is the email that I said to respond to, FBI-tort@mail.thealvarezes.com. And I sent it to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not to the U.S. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know what this is? So this is somebody, this is what I'm guessing. I am guessing that my letter did not get to the FBI. I'm guessing that it was this certified letter sent to the FBI was stolen out of the mail. And based on the fact that this is coming from the FBI office, that it was the FBI Portland office that I made the complaint against that was involved in stealing my mail. And do you want to know what this is? This is the scanned copy of the letter that I sent to the U.S. Marshal Service. So they hacked the letter off my iPad and thinking they're losing it, obviously, because they don't see this is to the U.S. Marshal Service, not the FBI. And they replied to the email that I gave to the U.S. Either that or they hacked my iPad. They have been hacking my iPad. And so do you understand this? Government cover-up, an incompetent government cover-up, because they sent back the letter that I sent to the U.S. Marshals as if I had sent that to the FBI. So anyway, yeah. Well, here's the deal. I don't know if they are just not dumb or idiots. Obviously, they're criminal idiots. But anyway, that's okay, because this is the thing. I'm supposed to they have 6 months to respond to me, and then I can file a lawsuit against them. Guess what? I don't have to wait anymore, right? I don't have to wait anymore. I have the response. So, woohoo! I get to file a lawsuit against the FBI, and you know what that means? Ooh, discovery. Discovery. This means I can ask for all this evidence about these criminal contractors that have been using government resources to hack me, stalk me, and sabotage my stuff, including stealing that letter off my iPad. Anyway, so yeah, that's just the latest as in today. And if you want to know how to document in case, you have some jackass working for the federal government coming after you, you can go to my website at racetowalk.org, any page on Hack the Saga, and you can download for free my crisis response toolkit in my digital defense toolkit plan. But yeah, so one of the things that they have been doing is that they have been stealing my royalties from Amazon. And so I had to close down my original Amazon KDP account. I'm going to have to close everything out on all the other distributors. And I'm still in the process of restoring it. So what I've been doing instead of, so what I'm doing, because I'm in the process of doing that, right? They've literally tried to steal every single avenue of revenue I can't have. So what I'm doing, since I'm battling with Amazon to get my books back online, which is a whole other topic that I was going to be talking about today, but I'm not going to now. But I am having a sale. So if you go to my website, Effusion MG, because this is my publishing company, Effusion Media Group, you go to that website, I am having a summer sale, the whole enchilada summer sale. And all of my digital books that I have, like my one and only fully annotated edition of Edition Awards, that is normally $12.99 if you just buy the digital version. But you can get the annotated edition of Edition Awards, plus my 2 devotionals and my 2 collections of Christmas stories, and my the facade discussion guide, and also my Hack the Saga episode 33, propaganda and government corruption stream notes for just $8.99. I'm running this sale, so don't miss out on it. You can save 82%. And so here's the thing. If you buy it on my website at effusionmg.com, and let me just spell that out. It's EFUSIONMG.com, because that's another thing that they corrupt. But anyway, you get not only just the EPUB version like you would get on other distributors like Amazon or, wherever, Barnes & Noble, Draft Digital, whatever. I include the PDFs, so you get on almost all of them. I don't have an EPUB on the stream notes because it just doesn't make sense. There's just too much documentation in that. And what that is like if you watch that video, I provide a lot of evidence and screenshots of that, but this, you just have it like in front of you so you can see exactly what I'm saying, how obviously it was plagiarized and it's government propaganda. But anyway, so go to my website, effusionmg.com, and you can get all the ebooks that I put out. These are the things, not all the ebooks, because I actually did 22 issues for An Unexpected Journal during the time I was publishing mine. But these are the ones that I just published myself. But anyway, you can get all that for $8.99. So anyway, that's my summer special. And if you have a recommendation for an attorney that can literally rip all these corrupt government employees to shreds, I have a denial from an FTC claim. And it's just obviously I have a basis for my claim. So, hey, guess what? We're just ready to roll now, right? Yeah, because I have that denial in hand. So anyway, that's it for today. And I have some more productive things to do other than talking about jackasses. So that's it for today. But I hope you all have a great week. Sign up for any of my newsletters anywhere, and be sure that you don't miss that out on that special. Talk to you later.